So I'm going to try something new here, okay? Sometimes I have my best thoughts when I'm driving down the road, much like mowing the yard or taking a shower or whatever, and your brain just fires. So instead of writing it down because I'm driving, I figured I'd just record it and talk while I drive. So anyway, Ryan Hood, CrossFit of the Ozarks. Here's what I'm thinking. Talking about this morning, we did a workout. We did some box jumps, and you know, when you have a large group of people, somebody's bound to, you know, eat wood with their shins. So I think about that, and I always watch the person's reaction. Much like ripping hands, doing pull-ups, whatever. People work out and do CrossFit or, you know, whatever workout regimen they do it for different reasons. Some people want to do it for the social aspect. Some people want to do it just because they want to exercise. Some people do it because they want to train. So there's so many different byproducts that can be obtained from being involved in a certain activity. So one of the byproducts of high-intensity training is not only physical, but mental and you know, emotional. And you see it all the time on these hard workouts people do. I mean, I've seen people come to tears during a workout. Their brain and their heart, they want to be able to do the movement so bad, but their body is completely taxed. And so they get mad, they get angry, frustrated, whatever, and all this flow of rush of emotions happens. So anyways, back on point. I'm thinking, you know, military or combat or whatever. Granted, most civilians that do these workouts aren't training for combat or military, but the application is still there, or the bridging the gap is still there. How? Well, it's like this. So you're doing, say for you know, 21, 15, 9 thrusters and pull-ups. A lot of people tend to rip hands. You're doing 45 pull-ups as fast as you can, and, you know, thrusters, or the box jumps. So I had a gal this morning doing box jumps. We did the Spartan 300 workout, and it included 50 box jumps. She hit her shins. If I remember correctly, she finished the workout. But it happens all the time. You see somebody, boom, they rake their shins. And I've seen some gnarly cuts. I mean, like almost to the bone, from you know, people eating the box. But for me, you know, I always want to make sure that they're taken care of. You know, clean it, wash it. I always say, well, clean it with iodine. It doesn't feel very good, but it really cleans it up. So do they sit there and focus on the injury? Like, oh my gosh, I'm bleeding. This hurts so freaking bad. I can't move. I'm about to throw up. Or do they acknowledge it, you know, recognize it, acknowledge it, accept it, and drive on? To me, that's huge. That's a fork in the road right there as far as somebody's growth. Mental and emotional, intestinal fortitude, and all that fancy stuff. So, you know, combat, you get shot. Let's say it's not even life-threatening. Let's just say, you know, it's a wound. You get shot in the arm or shoulder or whatever, but it's not life-threatening. Could be, but for the moment, it's not. You know, you hear stories about guys, you know, they get shot. John Wayne Walding. I love his story. If you don't know who that is, Google him. John Wayne Walding. Born on the 4th of July. Green Beret. I think he was in 3rd Special Forces Group. Firefight. Takes a round to the knee. Blows his leg off just below his knee. Well, doesn't blow it off. It's connected with soft tissue. So, you know, they're down in the valley. It's a bad deal. Him and his buddies are fighting, his teammates. So what does he do? He, you know, takes his bootlaces from his right boot, since that's the leg that's no longer working and he really doesn't need the boot anymore. Takes the bootlaces, takes his leg, his tibia, folds it up against his femur on his right leg, takes the bootlaces and ties his tibia to his femur, and continues to fight. Tourniquet, of course, all that stuff, but continues to fight. So he acknowledged the wound. He recognized it, obviously. He acknowledged it. I'm freaking screwed up, but I've still got 3 working limbs, a heartbeat, and the will to win, and I'm not going to die today. Much like the whole lone survivor stuff with Marcus Luttrell. So, he freaking rogered up and continued to march. So, how does that apply to what we do in CrossFit? It does. Somebody rakes their shins, somebody's got bloody hands, doing pull-ups. So, sure, you could, sit it out. Hey, my hands are jacked up, I just ripped the skin off. And you could, do whatever, quit and go home, or you can finish the fight and, take care of it later. Which, honestly, that's what I see most of the time. People continue to march, which I think is awesome. So, you really see the human body, the human mind, the psyche at work. It's very interesting. Yeah, as a coach and as a trainer, it's interesting to watch people. How do people react to circumstances? And that's why I like pushing people. And that right there, that'll make you freaking tough as horse nuts right there. It's just continuing to grow. Mental toughening. If you have mental toughness, I would say, in my own personal opinion, that's probably, I'd like to say 90%, but that's probably 75% of the battle. Granted, strength, yeah, you got to be strong, and have the motor to keep going. But man, mental toughness, that right there that's a deal breaker. I've seen big, strong dudes quit a workout, and I'm like, seriously? Wow, you are freaking pathetically weak. So don't judge a book by its cover. It's interesting. So those are my thoughts for today. Basically, suck it up, drive on, all that good stuff. All right, later.